Sometimes the only words I can manage to utter to myself are don't run out of strength, old friend. I say to myself, Diba, supera mande, supera mande. Not motivation, not affirmation, just survival. Just say, please live to see another day. Please live to fight another day. Live to sell another day. Live to build another day. Make please make one more video. Just do one more. Just this one. We can quit tomorrow, not today, never today. Right? Tomorrow the opportunity to quit will come back again, and will quit then. Don't worry about you. The same way that people put off starting on their goals and their dreams, we put off quitting. That's what we do. Because you do get into those seasons where okay, we'll get into that. What is up, you guys? Sage here. I'm Sage, CEO, founder of Legacy Africa. Legacy Africa, we help companies scale specifically through marketing. If you are a business that fits the criteria, we'll probably reach out to you within the next 30 days. So you don't even have to worry about the link in the description. But it is down there if you feel like you might fit the bill and you're looking to scale your business. Um, in any case, what's crazy is that objectively I'm winning right now. Is that I feel like that, and I'm saying to myself, just one more rep, one more day, one more. Objectively, I'm up. Like I just did a keynote speech at a graduation this morning. Yesterday, I was in an ad, like I did some acting for an ad. On Monday, I was at a book launch, really good. Made some really positive connections. You know, people. The marketplace is affirming what I have going on. What else? Going to conferences, boardrooms, all in the last 6 months. The 6 months, the hockey stick effect. I finally got into this part of the hockey stick, and it's just been going fantastic. And I feel like we're at this part, and we're about to hit critical mass, critical ascension, just a spot where we're just too big to fail, very very soon. So objectively, due to all those things, you think, wow, I'm feeling the best that I've ever felt right now. Keynote speeches, conferences, partnerships, traction, social media is growing, booming like crazy. There are opportunities on the horizon. The team's growing. Like there's so much validation from the marketplace. Um, and so you think that right now, the mental state would be awesome. And so why do I still feel like I'm losing? Why does it still feel like it's just not clicking? It hasn't happened for me. Because entrepreneurship at this stage is very strange because externally everything looks like momentum. Internally, you feel like you're drowning. Cash flow pressure, uncertainty, more responsibility while you're scaling, trying to execute more payroll, there's decision fatigue. Those things don't disappear just because momentum started. In fact, your cash flow is even more constrained because there's more to deliver on. There's a larger team. There's more payroll to make. You have the problems of scale, which is you need to be able to communicate at scale. You need to be able to execute at scale. But those things you just don't have the means to do at this point in time. And yet, because you are who you are, the terminal velocity that you've been able to gather on this path is now pulling things towards you that you don't feel like. I completely get why people get to a spot where they're like, no, they start to get imposter syndrome and whatnot. For me, thank God, I've outworked my self-doubt. Like I have no doubt who I am and what I'm capable of. That's not the issue. The part that really pulls me down, the part that really is heavy friction on me, especially the ones closest to me who knows what the what the actual math looks like at this very moment in time, can be very discouraging when they start pointing out what is true, what is obvious to me as well, and that last piece of the puzzle that just has to click. which is the marketplace is validating the thing. I'm meeting the right people in these rooms. They are gravitating toward me. We're exchanging contacts. They're seeing what I have to offer, and it's just I'm even having conversations where I can clearly hear that no man, this person is right now at a stage in their business that I can help with. But now it's just become about articulating very specifically what it is that I can do, so that without me saying one word, they ought to know that what I'm doing is for them. So it's about refining that language now, refining that offer, and defining that avatar even further. Like we've really come a ways in terms of that, but I feel like we need to niche down even further in the correct direction. So we've tried to niche down even further in ways that just didn't make sense and didn't feel like they were going to net the result that I wanted ultimately. But I finally come upon something that I feel like, no man, this is it. This is what I've been trying to do the whole time. And with this lost piece of the puzzle, everything makes sense. And so it turns out that the entire time we've been vertically integrating within this sector, and it's it's that yeah yeah there's some positive times ahead of us, but so it's positive, it's good when we're looking forward, it's good when we're looking externally, but internally I feel like absolute dog water. And the reason for that is because, again, the cash flow constraints, the uncertainty, not knowing when certain checks are going to clear, when certain invoices are going to hit, money's due are going to hit, but we definitely know when the expenses are going to hit. We definitely know when the trouble is gonna start piling up. And on one side, there's the uncertainty of when the positive comes in, there's a certainty of definitely the negative has to happen, and we have to keep betting on ourselves in the meantime. That's the part where if you allow too many external or internal like voices inside your circle, like I said, the people that love you will sometimes also question, like, yo, good man, you still got this. But which you can allow to seep into your mental framework, and that's the biggest danger, is when you start doubting yourself, right? But again, thank God that I've pushed as hard as I have, and things have started moving externally. Like, I've pushed as hard as I have for as long as I have, and things have started shifting externally. Because if it wasn't for that, then I really feel like I would be in a spot where I really just don't, like, I would just be flat and just out. I'm just done. I'm out of strength. I'm out of, you know. And it is in moments like this where I always ask myself and I reflect on, where would I be if Patrick Bet-David gave up during those moments. He talks about, he was in the car and he drove over, literally, in quite a similar situation actually, and rent's due and this and that. He drives over to this particular client to try and make this close, and he's knocking. They don't open the door. Sees him open. I can see you through the black. Hey, I just want to talk about nothing. Keeps persisting. Nothing happens. Eventually, he gets back in the car and he's about to drive back home, and bills are piling up, payrolls need to be paid out, etc. And what he mentions in that video is, what conversation, what dictates how far you go and whether you get to achieve what you want, is what conversation are you having with yourself in that moment. So fortunately for him, those were positive conversations. Where would I be if Alex Hormozi had given up after he lost everything for the first or second time? For the first or second time that he lost everything. And so again, it's a similar stage to the one that I'm in, where it's like, damn, for him, it's a thing of, oh, I've made a lot of money, but I just keep losing it. It's either I made a lot of it, but I felt like I was expending too much energy and time in order to make that money, or the money model itself just wasn't sustainable, and so it crashed. But those things had to happen in order for him to discover the one that finally stuck, that allowed him to scale to the point that he did. And so I say that to say that's literally the situation that I find myself in. I'm like, no man, I'm that puzzle piece away where if this thing clicks, it's the last thing I need, honestly. Like I said, the socials are going crazy, like the team's coming to like everything is unfolding. And unfortunately for us, we talk about the goalpost problem. The hardest part is that we keep moving the goalpost. You hit one level and you realize immediately, oh, there's levels to this. And suddenly you feel more behind. Even though you've cracked the next level, you don't celebrate it. Oh, now I'm at this next level. You don't celebrate like, oh no, a couple months ago I was closing nothing, and then you know, and then I sold products 1,000 rands a pop. Okay, and then I sold the service element for 2,000 rands a pop. Okay, that worked. Okay, now 5,000 rands. Okay, boom. Okay, now I'm it keeps shifting, and you don't have a moment in time to kind of like dwell on the on where you're at, and where you've come from, where you've been, because there's so much to do in so little time. Like I don't have time to even sit and sulk and think about the stuff that I'm going through, or the stuff that's happening, or how quickly it's happening, or all that, because I need to be like there are certain things that need to be done at certain periods of time, that period, or else to me it was all for nothing. In my mind, not to say realistically it was all, like realistically I could take a couple of L's and I still would, I still, reputation realistically wouldn't take a hit, but I'd take a hit because I know what I'm capable of. You know what I'm saying? And I'd know if I didn't show up in the best way that I possibly could. So like I'm willing to sacrifice everything, anything, everything. Like fuck it, you know? Like I'm really at that point where like I just don't care about anything except making this become a reality. And that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what's happening right now. And so when the mission is the most important thing to you, then you will have a tendency to push towards it, and you'll have a tendency to make it happen. I promise you this. This has been my experience at very least. And so I say all of that to say that the goalpost keeps shifting. You hit one level, you realize there's another one. And so instead of feeling accomplished, you feel behind again. And I realized something recently that was, as I'm hitting these next level, I'm like, no man, I've never actually sold premium. I've sold premium products at high prices to markets that couldn't really afford it. It was premium to them. But I've never really pushed anything for 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. I've never uttered those words on a sales call. I don't know, this thing's gonna cost you 100,000 rand to a person who has a million, a few million. But those are the people you need to be selling to, especially with what we're trying to do. The people who have the money to help us build the ecosystem and the infrastructure that we're trying to build have the money. So we should be talking to them. They should be the people that we're connecting with, that we're bringing our systems, our processes to, right? Our vision to, in terms of how we can allow someone to bring a product to market, and we're arbitraging the skills that exist in the market. These are the people we're trying to give the like it all makes sense. It's all coming together. I know I'm gonna look insane. I don't care. I know 2 months from now I'll have this to look back at. I know 6 months from now I'll have this to look back at. I know a year from now, 5 years from now, I will look a lot less crazy than I do right now. But it's all coming together in terms of, oh, that's why we've been building this pipeline. Oh, that's the use case of this. Oh, shucks. Yo. Every once in a while, I have those moments where I just go, yo, wait. So wait. If I step back, what I've actually built is like this component and this component and that. These things actually stick together quite well if I shift the way that the way that I'm thinking of shifting. I'm like, no man, if I shift like that, then all the pieces fit together, and it's not as dispersed. Because there were times when I felt like, no man, on one hand I'm chasing this, and this is what I'm saying is the main cash engine. On the other hand, I'm building these pipelines, and I'm building these other relationships, and this just seems like two, three, four separate missions. But at the same time, I feel like I'm still doing the same thing. And I'm saying no to certain opportunities. I'm saying no to certain speaking gigs. I'm saying no to certain engagements. I'm saying no to certain people because I just don't feel like those are in line with what I'm doing. But at the same time, I have no real clarity on what I'm doing. And so this next level of clarity that I've achieved kind of made me feel like, oh, that's why I was leaning towards these and not those. Oh, that's why I've been talking about this and not that. It's all beginning to make sense now, and the path becomes clearer the more you walk on it. I believe it must have been Zuckerberg who said that the path becomes clearer as you walk on it, man. I know he for sure said, I'll tell you a secret. I don't know how to build a dam. I don't know how to get a million people involved in anything. But the secret is no one does in the beginning. Um, but you just get started and the path becomes clearer as you walk on it. Something to that effect. I may be paraphrasing that last part. But the more you do it, the better you become at doing it, the more the path reveals itself to you, essentially. And that's where I feel we're at now. I feel like I'm learning myself in ways that I've never learned myself before, and hence I'm at this spot that I'm at where it's just like sacrifice without regret, because the run is generational and it's happening now. And I think that's a very important realization that we have to have is it's happening now. Whether and the coolest thing about it is I'm 100% doubling down on the fact that, like, no matter who's with me, who's against me, this is happening now. Like, I'm making this happen. Like, hell or high water, this is happening now. And so it's either you win with us or you watch us win. Period. But in due time, so the difference between selling to the rich and selling to people who don't have is that it's the same effort, same execution, same systems, except you get compensated better for it. Period. You're directing it towards people with actual budgets, and that realization changes everything. But transitioning is terrifying because you're pivoting, and when you pivot, you feel exposed, especially when we mention the stuff that we talked about before, where the people close to you and the inadequacy, and you feel like, damn, am I allowing people to steal valuable time from me? Am I not converting the attention that I'm building now? Am I not monetizing because I'm afraid to like all these thoughts start creeping in from people who don't even know what you're trying to build, or haven't built anything similar, or haven't helped anyone build anything. So it's just like, why are you listening to them? But they do. They creep in because these are people that are influential in your life, like I said, because they're close to you, right? But what you have to realize is that that uncertainty, that instability, um, that's the paradox. That's the part that filters those who do and those who don't at the end of the day. Is, can you handle the uncertainty? And a very beautiful thing, I first heard it from Will Smith, later Hormozy once, or repeated it, and I heard it yesterday, posted it today, which was, in those situations of serious turmoil, it's not about managing the situation, it's about managing your mind. That's what gets you, managing your mind. And I talk about, listen, this is how I'm feeling internally. Externally, like I said, yesterday, ad. Today, keynote. Tomorrow, we're building this and that. I'm onboarding my PA. Like like the doing is getting done. That's the difference. The difference is I feel internal turmoil. I hit the gym, have great ideas while I'm in the gym, leave the gym, start executing on those ideas on my way to home, execute on them while I'm at home, freaking cook, do something, whatever, get back to working on the thing, producing. Like, the doing is getting done regardless of how I feel. That's the difference. The difference is people can't manage their mind and they end up not acting as a result. And so it's not about managing the situation, it's about managing your mind and continuing to execute regardless of what's going on. That's the secret. It sucks. It's terrible. I feel like but I also feel like it's the best thing for you, because I don't really see benefit in ruminating in your sadness, because it doesn't really do anything for the sadness. So, potato potato. Pick your poison, right? And sometimes the people closest to you don't fully understand the vision, not because they hate you, but because they're scared for you. You know, they see the risk, they see the exhaustion, they see the uncertainty before they see the outcome. And sometimes those words hit hard, especially when they come from people you love. You know, because they see how good you are, how good you can be, the value that you can provide to the marketplace. And from their perspective, they feel like that should be rewarded immediately. But because you know better, you're doing better. Because you know better, you're operating in a way where you're hitting terminal velocity so that you can be able to monetize that. But you realize that in order to get to that position, in order to get to a position where you have to protect your time, to get to a position where you're like, honestly, I can't afford to do, I can't responsibly engage in this unless I'm coming in at a certain price point for that time. I apologize. I would love to. It just isn't worth the squeeze right now for me. You know what I'm saying? Like you in order for you to get to that point, you need to bring the value to the marketplace, and it needs to be validated by multiple parties. Like everyone in the room needs to see that, okay, no, this guy has something, he's doing something, he is something, and it's just a matter of time before he takes over the marketplace. In wherever he decides to point this thing that he has, they should quiver. They should be scared because he's coming and he's not going to stop. And so, in order for you to be that, you need to be there. You need to show up. You need to try. You need to put yourself out there. And I feel that that's very, very important. And the people you love just don't understand that. But again, if they knew better, they would do better. If they knew what to do, they would have done it already. But they don't. So it sucks, but don't listen. And here's the part that no one talks about is that because you don't listen to those people, you become the backup plan. There is no backup plan. There is nobody to ask. No one to fully transfer the responsibility of to. And even when you do seek guidance, ultimately it's your decision. And that kind of pressure changes a person. That kind of pressure makes you colder, not because you want to be, but because you have to be. Like I put a tweet out the other week that said the monster that I made to protect the dreamer is very, very vicious because he has to be. And that monster is the part of me that will seem quite cold, will seem quite distant, that will just step back. Especially when I'm in a very busy season, I'll step back, and you'll text me, and I'm like, bro, but what are you doing? What are you doing for you? Never mind what are you doing. What are you doing for you? If I know you're doing something for you, then I know that you're taking time out of your dreams, your passions, your vision to engage with me. And I'm doing the same to engage with you. We have that understanding because I know about, oh, no, this person's bettering themselves. This person is, like, whatever you do, like this person reads, this person's advancing in their career, this person, like, whatever the case is, it has a relationship. And I'm like, you're taking time out of your, like, busy schedule. You're taking time out of your life. You're taking time out of your obligations and dedications. You're setting some time aside to say, nah, I want to engage with this human being. And I appreciate that. I can engage with that. But if I don't feel like that's you, and I feel like you're here in that situation and you're extracting, not in this season. In general, I don't mind being that person, and giving, and I'm a giver. But the reality is, and I mentioned this before, when you get to a room of people who do really well, and you find a taker, you will find the person that is out of place. Because people who tend to do really well are givers. Hey, I wanna give to you. Hey, come here, come see this, come do this. What can I do for you? Who do I know who can benefit? What Those are the people who do well in life. And so you have to become that kind of a person, like, realistically. And the thing about being a giver, especially one that is accused by the people around them of being taken for granted, is you kind of become, you put those barriers up, you put those walls up, and you're like, okay, wait, but who is taking advantage of me? Who is taking because I give? And Most of the time you realize that it is the people closest to you who take the most. But hopefully it's those people who also give the most in their own ways, and who facilitate you. And yeah, like things happen, man. Things happen. People clash, personalities clash. But at the end of the day, as long as you got you got your vision, you have God, you're good, bro. You don't need anything besides that. Trust me. Trust me. And so the final stage before your breakthrough often feels the heaviest because you've already invested years into it. You've invested energy, reputation, identity, sacrifice. And now you have to make it work. And that pressure is immense. Because before it was you could say, nah, it's just a hobby. I'm a student entrepreneur. Like, I'm still studying, but I'm just trying to. But when you go all in and it has to happen, it's different. And again, that pressure changes you. It really does. So the real message behind all this is maybe this feeling that you're feeling isn't proof that you're failing. Maybe it's proof that you're carrying something real. Maybe this is what expansion feels like. Maybe this is what happens when your vision becomes too big for your old identity to contain comfortably. Like when you outgrow, to be able to, at any moment, give up who you used to be for who you want to be. To be able to, at any moment. Not when the football game's not on, then I give up who I used to be. Not when I don't have hands. Listen, if there's a hand there, then chief, not today. Today I'm gonna chase, and then I'll come back and I'll grind. No, chief, no, brother. To be able to at any moment to give up who you used to be for who you want to be. I'm at a stage right now where I don't go out, I don't party, I don't drink, don't do the girls, don't do friends. I don't like. It's war mode, bro. It's war season. Like when people, it is so funny, bro. But it's fine. I'm making this for me. It's so hard to translate and to say to people when you're on a generational run. There's no room. There's Bismillah. There is no room on everything I love. Akukho ndawo. There's no room for mistakes. There's deliberate knock on. Like deliberate fouls, or what's it called? They have a fantastic term for it in rugby. Unforced errors. There's no room in a generational run for unforced errors. I swear to God, no room for an unforced error. I'm very understanding with myself if I had never been in a situation before, if it's my first time experiencing something, if like I'm very understanding with myself when it comes to certain things. When it comes to things that I have experienced before, that I've had conversations with myself about, I'm ruthless with myself. There is no room for unforced errors and repeated mistakes at all. So finally, if you're in the stage right now where you're exhausted, you're uncertain, overwhelmed, you're doubting yourself, but still showing up anyway. Don't run out of strength. Old friend. You're closer than you think. Suphela mandla. Mntakwethu. Thank you for watching. If you did in fact enjoy the video, please do hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it loads. Entrepreneurs looking to scale their business. Entrepreneurs at the price point that I'm that I'm looking at right now aren't going to be watching this video, so it's actually fine. If you happen to be just an absolute mammoth who happens to just randomly come across description down below. Contact me, my LinkedIn. But yeah, ultimately, thank you guys for watching. I've been Sage, standing on